hypnotic dance. She holds me here with only a glance. She's over me. She's over me. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tuesday night edition of the Paranormal Portal Bedtime Stories from Beyond. I'm your host, Brent Thomas, and I am here finally. Sorry for the later start, but I actually had to get my computer updated. It just decided it needed to happen right now. I was rebooting it because it was just being laggy, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, update and restart. I'm like, no. So I am sorry that it ran a little bit late getting this off the ground, but here we are. We're underway, and I hope you all are ready because it's time for bed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. And, I got a big announcement to make, something that I'm absolutely thrilled about, but it's something that's been in the works for a long time, but we finally have gotten it off the ground. You guys are hearing it right after me. I mean, I haven't even had a chance to tell Don, but I was just real pumped that we got it going, and it's due in part to the kindness of many of you. Thank you for helping to make the portal bigger and better than ever. And a great debt of gratitude for Mr. Geo, who has certainly helped us out in this avenue. But I want to point this out to you. What's that? What is that? Is that a new phone number? Is that a new phone number? Does that mean you can call in whenever I'm doing the show? Yes, it does, ladies and gentlemen. We have a full dedicated phone call-in bank just for the Paranormal Portal. We can now have phone calls every night of the week, and it's open right now. I got it launched. This will be the maiden voyage for our own call-in number. This is my Vanna White. Our own call-in number. So I don't know. I'm not real good at this, but we got our own number, guys. It is official. We are able to take phone calls. Anytime the portal is open for business, the phone lines will be up. So it won't be just a Friday, Saturday thing anymore. Anytime you've got something you want to share or some idea you want to discuss or some opinion you would like to share, perfect. Just call in. That number is live and working, and it is 720-923-0500. So that is the call-in number for the Paranormal Portal. 24 days, 7 days a week, not 24 hours a day, though. I'm not answering that thing all day long. But during shows, I was going to say 24/7, but that didn't apply at all. So that was kind of stupid. But but anyway, I'm really excited about this. We are now that's another huge step. That's a huge part of the journey, to be able to take calls whenever we need to or want to, and something that I am absolutely pumped about. I am just thrilled beyond measure that has happened now. And again, special thanks to Mr. Geo for helping to make all of this possible. I mean, honest to God, he has been instrumental in every step of this journey. He and Cherie have have, they gave us a home for the portal on their network. Chris has helped me over and over again with both equipment needs and with troubleshooting and helping me. I mean, these frames that you're seeing on our channel are his work. He and Nick Zervos. Nick Zervos made the initial ones. Well, Chris actually made the very initial ones. Then Nick Zervos drafted another set, and then now Chris has updated this with the integrated chat in the window, which is nice. So if I ever have to make an edit to the shows, we don't lose that component of the show, which to me is a really big part of the show. What you guys have to say, what you guys are talking about. So I hope you guys are excited, but I'm excited about it as well. I just got to figure out where the best placement for this phone board will be. It looks like right here, I think, is where it's going to sit. So yeah, if you want to call in and, the phone line is open. Again, it is. I don't have it memorized yet. It's no longer the old one. So it's now 720-923-0500. So you could call in and be part of the show, and I'm in shadow now. But I'm just really excited. It's something that Don and I have talked about forever, about doing for the show and to help launch the show to another level. And thank you to all of you who have helped in so many ways, both by word of mouth and by your enthusiasm, your sense of family that you've brought to this show, and to those of you who have been able to help financially. Thank you so much, because this is where that is going. This is the kind of stuff where that will be going for the show to make it bigger, better, and greater than ever before. So anyway, oh, is he in here? Oh, somebody said mahalo. Oh, that was Lena. Lena said mahalo, Gio. And mahalo to all of you. Thank you so much. And good to see you all. I see there's quite a few of you in here. I'm just waiting for a phone call to come in. I'm just saying. I haven't had a chance to use it yet, so just, sitting here with a brand new phone board. And, if somebody wanted to call in, that'd be kind of cool. So, just saying, somebody call me. I want to test this. Somebody call me right now, please. All right, there we go. All right, and this is our good friend Julia. Hello, Julia. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Woo! You have made the maiden voyage.
I'm so excited for you.
Me too, for the whole show. I'm just really pumped. This is an opportunity, really to, make it amazing. I'm just so excited. Hey, Diana. Good to see you as well. Oh, you don't know the number. It's on the screen.
Hi, Don.
Don, it's on the screen.
Here in the chat. Hi, Don.
Well, I'm glad he was here, too, because I hadn't even had a chance to talk about this with him. It's just something that happened today. Boom, I just got it all set up. I updated all the show tiles. I'm just excited as hell. It's just amazing. Yes. Oh.
Well, it sounds good. I can hear you, everything.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well,
yeah, I don't know. It sounds good. I'm excited to be the first one to try it out.
You are. You've made the maiden call to the show. You have now broken the seal for all the flood of other calls to come in. So thank you so much, Julie. I appreciate it. Now we know it works, which is another thing I hadn't even had a chance to test. So we're doing it live on the air, which is really cool. And so cool. Oh, we got another call.
Okay, well, I'll let you go so you can chat it up.
All right, my lady. Thank you. Thank you so much for helping me test it.
Thank you.
Oops. I'm sorry. I cut you off. All right. I'm just getting used to it. It's a little different layout. All right. So let's get to this. Looks like our Haxer is on the phone.
Hey, you want me to call? I'm calling.
You got it, brother. We took that journey. This is something you and I were talking about a while back too. So I know it's finally happened. We've now turned.
I'm so happy for you, man. This is the next step of this show. It's awesome.
It really is. It really is. And And I'm just totally on cloud nine about this. So every time we have a show, the call lines will be available. There may be calls where we won't be taking calls, or maybe shows where we can't take calls because we have guests, or we'll open up a section of the show to it. But I mean, it's just really great. I've always wanted this show to be.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too. I've always wanted this show to be really caller driven in a lot of ways, and so now we at least have the logistics in place for that to happen. So very cool. And how's everything on your end, brother? I know you've been working real hard. Anything things coming together?
Well, the building, as far as it is right now, has ceiling panels removed. There's wires and stuff hanging from above. The floor has nails and chipped wood all over the place. Contractors have been here. Electricians going crazy. And he's only the electrician. He'll be buttoned up pretty quick and out of here. It's the plumber, I'm afraid of.
Oh, well, we love you, brother, and we're so excited for this to take off for you, too. I mean, this is, ladies and gentlemen, Haxer is starting a bar, a pub, a club called Cocktails and Corners. Is that right? Cocktails and Corners?
Yes, a craft cocktail bar.
Yeah, and as you any of you who've been a part of the show for any length of time know that this is the mad science of mixology. This is the master of mixology right here. So thank you, brother, for being a part of all this, and thank you for calling in.
Absolutely, man. Your phone rocks. I can't wait to call you for a real reason next time.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
All right, and I see our good friend Miss Deb is calling in. How you doing, Deb?
Hello?
Hello, milady. How are you?
I'm fine. Hey, everybody. Congratulations, Brent. I'm so tickled.
Me too. I'm just, it's like Christmas morning all over again. So very, very, very cool. I'm just really excited. It was always such a feeling like, you're a little lame. You're kind of a lame duck. You can only run 2 days a week, and then every time else you can't quite run. And now it feels like, the chains are off and we can just go. This is really exciting.
Oh, I know everybody's happy because there's been so many. We can't call in during the week. Come on.
Yeah, and I normally wouldn't utilize probably too many phone calls on the bedtime stories, but I mean, if somebody's got something that they'd like to share, the phone call is always going to be available, and now it really is, So I don't know. And
I think it's just absolutely wonderful.
It is, and what's cool is that you got a show coming up with us again, don't you?
I do, on the 22nd.
22nd, yeah. I've got the schedule kind of in pieces here, so yes, you are. You're going to be on the 22nd, and so, ladies and gentlemen, you will be using this new call line to talk to our dearly, our beloved Deb Varner here. And so it's good to know it works, and it's also nice that Julia Haxer and yourself called in, because now I was able to see the phone calls stack up there, and it's all working great. So I mean, it's kind of it's kind of a baptism by fire, really. I mean, I should have tested this before the show, but you guys are all family, and you guys have all been a part of this for so long. So it's nothing like a real world test to see how it runs.
Oh, yeah. Running great on my end, so, I'm tickled, really tickled.
Well, thank you, my lady, and I appreciate you calling in, and thank you to all of you guys for, being a part of this. But the 22nd, right?
Yes, 22nd? On the 22nd. Everybody's got plenty of time to memorize the number now.
Well, it is up on the screen. Now, that still doesn't help during the TFR shows, because we'll have to really announce it a lot then, because it is different than the normal TFR number. But yeah, we're going to use this every show. So, all right, my lady. Well, I love you. Thank you for calling in and being a part of the beta test here. It looks like we're good to go.
Yeah, I love you much. Good night, everybody.
Okay, we'll see you.
Bye.
And I love you all. I mean, this is just really huge. I don't know. I don't mean to go on and on about it, but the show has gone so far, and it could, in my eyes, it could only go so far without this one feature. This is the one feature that is really going to allow us and enable us to do so much more with the show and with letting people participate. It's hard to watch the chat rooms. It really is. It's hard for all of us, even when Donna's here, and with Julia and Diana as well. It's just an awkward thing. So now at least we have the call board. So anyway, I just wanted to have a Paranormal Portal party about it with you guys. So thank you, and I'm just tickled pink. So anyway, let's get to some ghost stories, shall we? You know what? That's a good question. I don't know if we'll have a UK number, to be honest with you. That's going to be quite a significant expense, and quite honestly, on the show, we haven't had a lot of UK numbers. But if somebody ever wanted to call in, I suppose we could make, well, like we do with Ken, where he and I are connected on Skype as well. So in the case of a UK caller or an international caller that wants to be a part of the show, reach out to me via email. We can certainly get you on the show via Skype. That'll always be a possibility. I'm not uber worried about people connecting to my Skype. I mean, I got tons of connections on there already just doing the show. But so the UK will probably be by more of a scheduled kind of call, so it wouldn't be the same number. So I don't think there is a UK access on this. Yeah, it's just no. I'm looking at it now. So it's just North America. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for helping me test that, and I'm sorry I took so much time to drone on and on and on about it, but it is a big thing. So it's really cool to be able to take these steps and cross these things off of the bucket list for the show. So, all right, the next big thing, of course, will be us getting out and doing investigations. And Don and I are already planning on going over to see Duke this summer. Duke is having he has get-togethers, and we're going to go over there and participate in that when it's announced. I will be sure to let you know, but we'll try to get some stuff for the show from that too. All right, so let's get into the stories. All right, the first one tonight is coming out of Pennsylvania. Excuse me. Oh man, this is kind of fluffy music. I wanted something more spooky. This is music I didn't write, but it's just open music. So I don't know. It's just mood enhancers. All right, so Pennsylvania. To be honest, I still play with Barbie dolls, and okay, even though I'm a bit old for them, but I really don't care. Good for you. I always thought that was silly that there's such a criteria. If you want to play with toys, play with toys. I still play with toys. But I really don't care. I don't play with them much anymore because I've had a couple of strange doll experiences. Ooh. The one I will tell you about is sort of a mind-boggler. Not really. It's just really odd. I have this box where I keep all of my Barbies in, and ever since I stored it away under my bed, a really weird thing started to happen. Sometimes my bed starts to shake. Not too violently, though. You can't see it happen. You can only feel it. The only person who knows about this is my sister, and I tell her just about everything, even though she's just a 9-year-old. And I've never been brave enough to actually check under my bed while it's shaking, and I'm just not that courageous. So I don't like to check out stuff. My bed was shaking like crazy last night, and it was kind of scary, and I am soon going to take out the box and see if my bed still shakes. I don't actually believe the dolls are real, but it still remains a mystery to me. I'll be doing some upcoming experiments to try to search for a logical explanation. Maybe there isn't. Who knows? I also have another doll story to share, but I'll post it soon. And why don't I read that one? Because it is linked in the bottom here. Now, again, this was apparently nothing came up with the experiments because this was written in 2007 and there's only one additional story. So let's see what's going on here. What I'm about to tell you is 100% true. There is no exaggeration anywhere, I promise. I'm still in shock and in amazement that this happened to me. I'm still trying to figure out what the thing was. Excuse me. Last night around 10 o'clock, I believe, the strangest thing occurred in my life. My sister decided to talk to our mom or something, so she left our room, and I was the only one in the room, and I was just relaxing, and I paced back and forth. I do this a lot at night, and I sighed and sat down on my sister's bed, and then I saw something out of the window. I couldn't tell what it was, so I peered closer. It looked like a white hand almost. It was very bright, and it was sort of pretty. I thought it was an angel, but I wasn't sure. Could it be a ghost? It's the weirdest looking thing I ever saw. It happened so fast. I gasped and continued to stare. I wasn't scared, just surprised. I ran out of the room to tell my sister. She was still in my parents' room, and I whispered for her to come in quickly to our room, and I grabbed her by the hand, and we were disappointed to see the ghostly thing was gone when we entered our room, but I was glad to hear my sister believed me. Thank goodness. I'm planning to never tell my parents because I know they would not believe such a thing. Well, I'm still thinking about this ghostly encounter, and I'm still in shock. I just don't know if I will ever forget that moment. What do you think? I'm betting you probably won't. Betting you won't. But cool stories. The next one's coming out of North Carolina. I'm not exactly sure if what is going on is a ghost story or not, but I've had these weird things happening lately, and I think it might be a ghost trying to reach out to me. I guess I should start at the beginning. When I was a kid, I used to have these feelings something bad was going to happen. Then I had these dreams of things that were going to happen before they did. Nothing major, just conversations. Little things. Also, I had really, really bad nightmares. My parents had to get me pills to help me sleep. Not that relates to a ghost or anything, it's just to say that it led me to be open to the idea of them existing. The ghost or spirit or whatever I'm referring to is something I've seen. Maybe seen is an exaggeration because it's only been quick glances out of the corner of my eye, a sort of blur. I woke up once to see this whitish blur sort of hovering near my bed. I probably wasn't so much of a blur, but I wear glasses, so that's all I got out of it. And I thought it was the after effect of a dream, no big deal. But then I saw the same blur a few days later in my bathroom while I was taking a bubble bath. It was out of the corner of my eye again, and then it was gone. When I turned to look, I remember trying to talk to it to see if it would come back, and I even called it a pervert for showing up when I was naked. Not that I'm sure ghosts can be perverts. I was just trying to get its attention. That's funny. Normally, seeing these sort of things wouldn't bother me. I've had it happen a few times before, and once when I was a kid, I saw an old guy mowing my neighbor's yard that didn't live there. I described him to my mom, and she told me there used to be a man who lived down the street that looked like that, but he had died a few years ago. I didn't make a big deal out of that. Nearly everyone who had family who lived nearby, and it could have been his brother and looked like him or something. Another time I saw a lady brushing the steps of a house in the back seat of the car with my parents and brother, and I told them about it because there was never even a house there, let alone a woman. And the woman was dressed funny in a white dress, and they told me they hadn't seen anything. I still argue every time we pass that spot that I saw something there, and they think it's funny. Whether or not I was seeing spirits or not, I don't know, but they never seemed to see me back. So it wasn't like it was anything I was worried about. It wasn't hurting me, and it sure wasn't bothering them, but things have started to get weirder. One day, I was in the car with my brother, and I saw a man on the side of the road who, when I blinked, wasn't there. My brother was with me and saw nothing. Later in that same spot, I saw a man who looked like he was walking out on the road. I slammed my brakes, but the guy had disappeared. I probably would think I was going crazy had weird things not happened around here before. My mom told me back when her and my dad were just married that she woke up and saw a man standing in the room. But then he was gone. That, and she has had the feelings as well. And usually they are right. She had one night I wrecked my car. My dad thinks the house he grew up in was haunted, and he's told me stories about it. My brother has heard the same little girl singing that I have heard coming from the woods behind our house, and he used to have feelings and dreams too, like me. Never a big deal, and the only one of mine that ever mattered was that I dreamed this old lady my family knew would die, and she did. But she was old and sick, and that was probably just a nightmare. Usually these feelings, the ones that something bad is going to happen, mean a family member will get hurt. My cousin broke her arm, a family member rushed to the hospital, a friend having a nervous meltdown, nothing ever extreme. And since my brother believed me, I thought I was sane, and then I started having weird dreams again, dreams that made it really hard to sleep. I was 11 the first time I had dreams so intense, and these ones I was having started when I was 15. I had them for 3 years on and off. On and off. The on period always came along with headaches, dizziness, and a general feeling of something being off. The dreams had me talking to someone, a man. He knew me, remembered me, and I felt as if I knew him too, but couldn't remember. The one thing he told me bothered me, and I asked who he was and what he was, and he only said, "Go back to the beginning." I didn't know what that meant, so I started researching ghosts, past lives, anything in the range of spiritual or supernatural, and because these dreams were real and they felt real. They weren't only nightmares, and I've woken up screaming from them. Only lately have these weird dreams started coming back, and except now I can't remember them like I did before, and before they hung with me like events I actually lived. Now, a few minutes after waking up, they fade. Sometimes before I even open my eyes, I just wake up with the same sense of sadness, of fear, of something being wrong or out of place. I got so I couldn't sleep, and I was scared to fall asleep. I started taking things to help me sleep, only Tylenol PM or things like that, since my parents wouldn't get me the hardcore stuff. And when I do sleep, I wake up, which is leading up to what happened that really freaked me out. Like I said, I've always seen things, but they never bothered me, never noticed me. Besides the dreams where I've carried on whole conversations with this guy who have no idea who or what he is. Did I mention that we are Did I mention we are on beach a lot of times? Always the same one. I tried to find it online, but never could. Anyway, back to what I was getting to what all this babbling has led up to. I woke up the other morning on one of those rare nights I sleep and heard something moving around my room. I'd woken up because I felt something in my room, and everyone knows that feeling, like when someone walks into a room and you don't really hear them or see them, you just sort of feel them. That feeling woke me up, and I heard someone walking, and I thought it was my mom, so I just closed my eyes, and she comes in sometimes in the morning to turn off my lamp, and I can't sleep in the complete dark for some reason, so that's who I thought it was, only it wasn't. I heard something behind me breathing. I felt something touch my shoulder. I knew it wasn't my mom. I knew it then because she would never touch me while I was asleep. Never stand so close and breathe that way, and I couldn't only hear him, her, it, whatever, breathe. I could feel it. I didn't open my eyes, and it only lasted a few seconds. The breathing, the touch, not even that. I went back to sleep, and later I woke up to see my mom turning off my lamp, and I wanted to ask her was she there earlier, but I didn't. Not then. When I woke up, the lamp was back on, and no one else had been in my room all morning, and I asked everyone in my family, and they all told me They hadn't been in there. I don't know what to make of it. I don't feel safe, and I thought maybe I was just afraid because it isn't something that's ever happened to me before. But nothing else has ever made me feel afraid. I want to know what's going on. I know houses can be haunted, but I don't think mine is. I live in a trailer, and I've never heard of those things being haunted. But what I wonder is, can a person be haunted? Maybe that's what's happening to me. I don't know. I need somebody to give me an idea. So if anyone is reading this, tell me what to do. Tell me if I'm just crazy. I need some advice. Again, this is from 2007, so I'm sure they got their answer by now, but I would probably wager this person is a budding sensitive and they're just picking up things and not sure what to do with them. And perhaps the one she met in the dream was her guide. I don't know. She didn't say it was a creepy feeling or anything. She just didn't know who it was. So I don't know. Good story, though. Long one. All right, this next one is coming out of Ohio. Phasmophobia. I'm just looking at the call board. Because I can. Phasmophobia is a fear of ghosts. Yes, I have it. Who could really blame me? I went from a non-believer to a man whose hair stands on end with the mere thought of it. It all started around midnight 4 nights ago, and I lay on my bed, so close to falling asleep when I began to hear voices to my left. The voices sounded so close that I had to sit up. The voices continued, but I couldn't see a soul. I shook my head to make sure I wasn't dreaming. The voices stopped for a minute, which was when I saw a flash of gray light come out of the corner of my left eye, and I quickly turned my head, but saw nothing out of the ordinary except that the clothes hanging over my computer chair were swaying. Again, I saw something from the corner of my eye and jerked my head the opposite direction to catch a glimpse. This time, the flash of light stopped. I stared at what I saw. It was 6 feet tall, thin as a rail, and its body shimmered in a strange gray light. Its face was no more than moving shadows. Instant fear had crept in, and I had become a child again. I pulled the covers above my head and curled into a ball and shook miserably. The voices started again, but stopped abruptly next to my feet. I felt that the covers start to tighten and pull away. Something was sitting down next to my feet. Without thinking, I kicked madly at the area of the being had to be sitting, but only struck the air. I stopped and panicked when I realized the pressure had moved to the sheets on either side of my head. Out of instinct, my hands went up to the top of the covers to hold them in place, and I felt a powerful force resisting me, trying to remove the covers from my head. Unfortunately, I came up with a bad plan. I would take it by surprise, and I'd let it pull the sheets down, and I'd hop out of bed and out of that room. I loosened my grip, and as expected, the sheets came down to around my waist. I couldn't move, though. Within less than an inch from my face was the face of the creature, staring eye to eye. I did the only thing I could. I screamed like a girl. The face vanished instantly. I was frozen except for my eyes. I felt a little shaking at the edge of my bed, so I looked down, and I saw a pair of hands hanging onto the footboard. Slowly, I began to see the top of its head between the hands, and then the full face came into view. It lunged into the air, hovering above me. It got closer to my face and screamed the exact way I did, and disappeared. The whole room shook for seconds after its disappearance. I haven't slept since. I don't know. Not sure what to make of that one. That one's out of my pay grade. I don't know. What is it? Some other being, maybe. Obviously not a shadow person, but I don't know. Very strange. And those are the tough ones because when you get a story like that, that's normally they all seem to follow a specific pattern of what people are seeing. I mean, there's many different things that people see and experience, but when you get a description that doesn't fit anything you've heard before, does that make it less possibility of being real? Could it just be a fabrication at that point? I mean, they all could be fabrications. I don't pretend that all of these are real. I can't know. I can only find things to share with you. But normally, you see you see representations of the shadow people. You see representations of old time people that are dressed completely different than modern dress. You see representations of creatures, but generally, I don't know. I've not heard of a description quite like that before, so I'm not sure what to make of it. Could be a shadow person. Maybe they just saw it in a different state than most people ever see it. I don't know. But those are kind of peculiar, where they kind of stand alone after the thousands of stories I've read. I don't know. Those to me are a little harder to swallow, not because they couldn't be true, but it's just, could this be the only person that's ever experienced something like that? I don't know. Now the sleep paralysis and the being paralyzed and the pulling of the covers is certainly not unusual. It's just more the description of what they saw. I don't know. That to me is kind of sticking out. All right, this one's coming from Massachusetts. I encountered this when I was about, I don't know, maybe 9. I had an invisible friend, and his name was Anthony. We used to play and talk and do everything together until I found out the truth. Anthony started doing weird things like cussing at me and then going into the bathroom and crying, and my mom just blew it off because she thought I was just playing, until one day when Anthony just cracked. Oh, that's creepy. When we were playing hide and go seek, when Anthony couldn't find me, he chose to give up, and he was a real sore loser that day. And all of a sudden, a figure appeared. And Anthony said, "No, Mom, please don't." She obviously didn't see me, and she started beating him up. I told my mom about it, and she said it was just going too far. So I did some research and found something out. There really was a boy named Anthony Harmon, I guess, but it's got an E at the end, Harmon. He died of child abuse 50 years before that day exactly. So I found Anthony in the closet crying his poor little eyes out, and I said, "Anthony, what's wrong?" And then he started talking about his mom kept hitting, and he confessed that she killed him 50 years ago in that same house. He said he could not find the light, and I helped him. A few days later, he said, "I see a light. What's happening?" And then he started walking toward that light, and I haven't seen him or his mother since. Sometime I hear a child's laugh or a thank you, but I'm glad of what I did. I miss you, Anthony. It's a really short story, and for something so profound, it's just a couple paragraphs long. Oh. It is so tragic, though, God. I don't know. I remember when my oldest son was going through high school, and they had to read, maybe it was in junior high. I don't think he had to read it, but he did read it. It was this book. It was called A Child Named It or something like that. And it was just horrible things happened to that boy. Horrible, horrible, horrible things. Just beyond, everybody knows what abuse is. And of course it's never good. But the things this child was forced to do and to put up with. And the amazing part to me is that someone could be so completely broken and still make a life and create a good life and share their experience to help others. And And, I don't know. I mean, being a parent is hard work, but the one place you can't lash out is to those little babies. I mean, they are everything. They are the innocent. They are not corrupted. They're not tainted in any way. And to think that the people that should be protecting them the most are the ones that are so just dedicated to tearing them apart. That just breaks my heart. It's just that's not fair. But, the fact that child who related the story as a man of his childhood and has gone on to do wonderful things is such an amazing story of strength and perseverance and being willing to push through all of that hurt and all that broken to make a life. So those kind of people are truly my heroes. Because I don't think I could do it. If I had experienced what this child experienced, I don't think I could. Ugh. All right, next one is Ohio. I'm 25 years old and just wanted to ask some stuff. Here are 3 small stories each, briefly describing an incident. The first is spring of 2002. There were loud bangs from out of nowhere in my house. The dresser banged loudly once while I was laying in my room at 2 to 3 a.m., and it was as if someone kicked it full force. The whole night and many nights prior, I heard feet scraping around on my carpet. It was creepy. I also heard someone dance down my hallway once. It definitely was not other occupants in the house. In 2003, I also heard a very loud bang when I was sitting in the basement late at night, and I immediately flew up the stairs to the room, and it came from to find nothing. Okay. Oh, to the room it came from. He ran up to the room it came from to find nothing. I'm sorry, that just didn't track right for me. Nobody in my house heard it when I asked the next day, and they were all asleep. These bangs were very loud, as if someone dropped a desk chair from 3 feet up. The second one is summer of 2000. I saw a human shape walk up to me in my peripheral vision, and when I turned to look, nothing was there. It literally vanished right after being right next to me. That same night, the fan started spinning the wrong way on its own. And the third one, this summer of 2004, I always heard that feeling a presence myth, but I never actually felt one. I never understood it until I actually felt it one night. I was sitting in the basement on the computer when this obtrusively invading thought interrupted my mathematically preoccupied mind. I was programming the computer, and I suddenly knew that someone was there and that it was just watching me. And when I looked, nothing was there, but I could point exactly where it was. This sudden thought wasn't a result of a wandering mind. I was busy doing something irrelevant. This thought literally obtrusively injected itself into my consciousness, just like when someone interrupts you. This was right after my grandmother died, so it might have been her. I'm having trouble conceiving this ghost thing because I always understood matter and the universe in terms of physics. And I remember one night when I was in high school, my friends and I went walking through a graveyard drunk. I urinated on someone's tombstone just to be a smart aleck. And might this have something to do with it? I was stupid at the time, and I'm sincerely sorry for doing that disrespectful act to someone's tomb. I don't know. I don't know what started it. Could be. I know that, if I was a spirit and happened to be in the graveyard and someone came and peed on my tomb, I might have some issues with that. Oh well. That did remind me of one of my own experiences that I've not shared before. I might have shared it a long time ago on the show. I don't remember. But it was back when I was living in Minnesota, and we lived right on the lakefront of the Mississippi River, and It was the widest point of the river, of the whole river. It's called Lake Pepin, and that's in Minnesota, between Minnesota and Wisconsin, towards the southern part of the state. And it was really a really electric thunderstorm. And I love watching thunderstorms. It's like my biggest thing to do in the summer months. And unfortunately, in the north of Idaho, we don't get a lot of thunderstorms. So I really miss that. I always go out on my porch or stand on the shore and watch the storms blow up and, marvel at the lightning. I just think they're amazing. It's just one of the things I would always do. And so this amazing storm blew through. And my oldest son and I were there. It was before I was married to my current wife. But we were there, and the storm blew through, and I went outside after the storm blew through and was watching the lightning fade in the distance on the lake. It was just, the whole sky was just flickering like a strobe light. It was just electric, amazing. But I'm standing out there and I'm looking around, and I swear the ground had a glow about it. It had like an energetic glow. And perhaps there's a science to that. I don't know. It's something I'd never witnessed before, but I was witnessing it that night. And it was just like the whole atmosphere was just humming. And again, perhaps it's a byproduct of all of that lightning and activity. Maybe that stirs things up. I can only assume it does. But I was out there standing on the lake shore, right on the edge of the yard before it turns into the beach, just watching the storm and marveling at this amazing glowing mist that seemed to be hanging just over the ground, about 1.5 feet down to the ground. So above the ground by 1.5 feet all the way down to the ground was this glowing mist, and it was just amazing. And so I was out there, and my son came out and joined me for a while, and we were both really amazed by this. And eventually he went back inside, but I stayed out. I just thought it was such a neat, magical experience. So I'm standing out in the yard and just kind of wandering around, and it's really dark. There's only one street light that's about, 300 feet away from where I was standing. And it casts a light. I mean, you can certainly see. But I was standing towards that area, and I'm looking around, and I'm starting to see these, I don't know, like little cloud figures moving around suddenly. And it's like they're there and they're moving around, and I'm just standing there, and I don't want to move because I've never seen anything like this before. And I thought, wow, what am I seeing? Am I seeing a glimpse into what's on the other side, or what's going on? So I'm standing there watching it. And I'm standing there, and then one of those cloud figures that looked like a silhouette of a person, but as if they were just made out of a wisp of cloud. And it kind of moved over towards me, and it stood in front of me, like literally maybe 1.5 feet from my face, maybe 2 feet. It stood there, and I saw it kind of bob one way and then bob another. And I'm just keeping my eyes straight ahead because I don't want to move my eyes, because, it's one of those things that you think you see something and then you move your eyes and then it's gone. So I didn't want to do anything. So I just kept staring straight ahead, but watching this weird figure doing that. And then it's like, and as I stood there, then it lifted a hand up and went like this in front of my face, like, like that. And I said, "Yeah, I can see you." And then suddenly, boom, it was just gone. And that was a really cool experience. Now, I can't say that I was seeing something spiritual. I don't know what I was seeing. I was seeing perhaps a manifestation of the natural realm. I don't know. I mean, could it have been a nature spirit? Could it have been a human spirit? Could it have been a glimpse beyond the veil, so to speak? What could it have been? I don't know. But it was such a really amazing experience. And I've noticed that sometimes when I'm meditating, I can see that same kind of haze and cloudy, like, layer. And I don't know. I've always been fascinated by the idea of seeing the deceased, seeing people that hadn't, that have already passed, or whatever else is able to be seen. And so I'm hoping that was maybe a preliminary part of that, maybe manifesting, but it was years ago. And although I still can meditate and see those clouds. So I'm sharing that with you because you guys always share your stuff with me, and it's only fair, quid pro quo, right? So anyway, we went for a full 50 minutes tonight. I know a big part of it was me going on and on and on about having the phone lines now, but it's just something I'm really excited about, and I was really thrilled to be able to share that with you guys. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the Paranormal Portal and for doing all that you do to perpetuate the portal and to make it grow. And a special thank you to those of you who have been able to help us to grow the portal with new features and stuff. And tonight, of course, is check the email. Okay. All right, I'm checking. I've been told. Oh, all right, okay. Oh, where's the picture, though? I don't see a picture, Julia. Let's see. Nope. It just says lightning. I took this shot a few years ago. Did you send the picture? It's a video. No, I don't see anything attached to this email at all. Let me expand it and fill up the whole screen. Let's have a look. Because if it's something cool, I'd love to share it with you guys as well. No. No, it's not here. Let me back up and see if it's showing up as an attachment. No, that email doesn't even show as it has an attachment, Julia. Sorry. But I guess that's about it. I guess I can't see it, Julia, but if you send it to me, I'll be happy to share it the next show. Again, tomorrow, Don will be joining me, and we'll have our normal 2-hour Wednesday show, and we'll have calls. Call board will be open. I'll always open it with the shows from now on, so no reason having something that we're not using, right? So I love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. You're welcome, Gemini. Thank you guys, all of you who are in here and were a part of tonight's show. And, you guys are amazing. Just nothing else I can say. But we'll be back tomorrow night. And again, remember this weekend coming up, Friday night, we got the paranormal panel. That's our paranormal investigators will be joining us. That'll be MCAT, Mr. Mike Hetzel. It'll be Dan Pruitt, and it will be Lisa Martin. All three of them will be joining us on Friday. So if you have questions that you'd like to ask the paranormal investigators, please email them to me or look for the post on our Facebook group for the Paranormal Portal. So it's facebook.com/Paranormal Portal Radio. If you have questions or things that you'd like them to address, please send them over, or, however you want. Either email them or put them in the Facebook group or find another way to get them to me. But all right, guys, have a wonderful night. Thank you so much. And we'll be back tomorrow night. Have a great hump day. We'll see you for Hump Day's Eve.